In a small, quiet village nestled between rolling hills, life seemed perfect. The houses were simple but warm, the air fresh, and the streets filled with laughter. But there was something hidden beneath the surface. Aric, a man who lived on the edge of the village, was not like the others. His heart was full of anger, and his eyes always searched for someone to blame. Why did he hate those who were different? Was it something from his past? He pushed away anyone who tried to get close, fearing that their kindness would make him weak. The villagers whispered about him. Some feared him, others felt sorry for him. As the days went by, the village continued to flourish, but Aric's bitterness only grew. He couldn't understand why the people around him seemed so content, so accepting. He watched from the shadows, alone in his rage. Little did anyone know his hatred was about to destroy everything. What would happen to the village? Would Aric's heart ever change, or would it lead to something far worse? The tension in the air was thick, and the village was about to face its darkest days. Aric's hatred, once a quiet fire, now burned brightly and uncontrollably. Every day he treated those around him with coldness, ignoring their attempts at friendship or kindness. His harsh words sliced through the hearts of those who tried to reach out, and his cruel actions created deep rifts in the village. The people, once warm and welcoming, began to fear him. They avoided his gaze, whispered behind his back, and some even left in search of peace elsewhere. Aric, however, didn't care. He believed they were weak, too soft to understand his anger. But little did he know his hatred was slowly consuming him. As he pushed everyone away, he only grew lonelier. The more he isolated himself, the more bitter he became. Was this the path he had chosen for himself? And could this darkness lead to his ultimate downfall? Suspense grew as the villagers began to realize that Aric's cruelty could destroy more than just friendships. It could destroy everything. Then, on one strange, quiet morning, everything changed. Aric woke to find the village eerily silent, the air still and cold. He stepped outside, only to be met with an unsettling sight. The village was gone. No houses, no people, nothing. It was as if the land had swallowed it whole. Aric's heart raced as he searched every corner, every field. But there was no trace of the village he once called home. Where had everyone gone? What had happened? Panic gripped him as he realized that his world had vanished overnight. Had his hatred, his bitterness, somehow caused this? Could the dark energy he had put into the world have brought this destruction? The questions flooded his mind, and the silence around him seemed to mock him. As Aric stood alone in the empty space, his past mistakes weighed heavy on him. Could he have been the reason everything was gone? This mystery left him, and the audience, shocked and desperate for answers. What had happened, and would anyone ever return? Aric wandered the empty land, each step echoing louder than the last, as he moved through the desolate place where his village had once thrived. The streets that had once been full of life, the laughter of children, the chatter of neighbors, everything was gone. In their place was a barren wasteland, cold and silent. Aric's heart weighed heavy with guilt. He knew that this emptiness was somehow tied to the hatred he had spread, but the truth remained elusive. Was this his punishment? Had his bitterness been the cause of this destruction? As he searched for any sign of life, any trace of the people who once lived here, a question gnawed at him. Was it too late to undo the damage he had done? Could he ever find redemption? Every corner he turned, every step he took, seemed to mock him with the silence. The weight of his past sins pressed harder with each passing day, and for the first time, Aric wondered if he could ever escape the consequences of his own hatred. His past had consumed him, and now it seemed as though there was no future left to reclaim. Years passed, and Aric returned, his mind filled with questions. The world had changed, but had he? As he stood where the village once stood, his eyes searched for any hint of what had happened to the people. The land was silent, empty, and devoid of life. Where had everyone gone? What had happened in the years that had passed since the village vanished? Aric wondered if his bitterness had been the cause of all this, but he also felt a strange pull, as though something deeper was at play. Was this the moment for his redemption? Could he, after all he had done, still change? Or was it too late? The silence of the land answered nothing, leaving Aric with more questions than answers. He could feel his past closing in on him, but in the back of his mind, a flicker of hope sparked. Could he fix what he had broken? Or had time and hatred destroyed everything? To his surprise, the land was not as empty as it seemed. In the place where his village had once been, a powerful kingdom had risen from the ashes. The news stunned Aric. How had it happened? Who had built it? And why had he been chosen to lead it? The answer came quickly. Aric, of all people, had been chosen as the new king. Why him? What made him worthy of this honor given the dark past he carried with him? This sudden rise to power felt like a cruel joke, or perhaps a twisted fate. Was this his chance for redemption, an opportunity to prove that he had changed? Or was it a trap, a punishment for his past mistakes, meant to make him face the consequences of his actions in the most painful way possible? Aric felt both fear and excitement stir within him. Could he control this new kingdom? Or would it crumble beneath him, just as his old village had? The questions swirled in his mind, each one deeper than the last. Suspense grew with every passing moment, and Aric couldn't help but wonder if he was capable of being the man this kingdom needed, or if he was doomed to fail. When Aric finally assumed the throne, things didn't go as he expected. The crown weighed heavily on his head, and his heart was heavy with doubt. The people who now served him didn't trust him. They whispered behind his back, their eyes filled with suspicion. How could someone with a past so dark, someone who had destroyed everything he once held dear, lead a kingdom? Aric's mind raced as he faced the impossible task of ruling a land he didn't deserve. Every decision felt like a gamble. Could he rise above his past and lead the kingdom to greatness, or would his old ways catch up with him, ruining everything? His struggles with self-doubt grew, and the pressure mounted. The kingdom that had given him a second chance was now at risk of slipping through his fingers. Was he truly capable of ruling, or was his hatred too deeply rooted for him to ever change? Aric felt torn between his old self and the man he hoped to become. The tension between his past and his future was unbearable. Would he rise to the challenge, or would the shadows of his past consume him once again? The kingdom was watching, waiting, but Aric didn't know if he could ever escape the darkness that had always followed him. As Aric settles deeper into his role as king, he begins to uncover strange and unsettling truths about the kingdom's rise. The land that was once barren now thrives. But there are whispers, hushed voices in the shadows, of magic, of ancient powers that seem to be at play. The villagers who disappeared, had they been connected to this power? Could Aric's hatred, his deep anger, have somehow awakened something dark, something that had been dormant for centuries? The more he digs, the more questions arise. Were these powers tied to the mysterious disappearance of his village? The deeper Aric investigates, the more the secrets of this new kingdom seem to elude him. His growing curiosity takes him further down a dangerous path, and he begins to feel as though there are forces beyond his control guiding his fate. The questions pile up. What is really happening? Could the kingdom's rise be linked to his past actions? What is the truth behind the power that now surrounds him? As the mystery deepens, Aric feels increasingly trapped, unsure of what's real and what's a product of his own unraveling mind. Aric's nights become haunted by strange, vivid dreams. He sees the faces of the villagers who vanished, their eyes full of rage and sorrow, their expressions twisted with anger. At first, Aric believes these are mere nightmares, products of his own guilt and fear. But soon, the dreams become more vivid, more real. The villagers speak to him in whispers, their voices full of sorrow, their words accusing. Are these ghosts seeking revenge for the destruction he caused? Or are they trying to warn him of something even darker? With every dream, Aric's mind begins to crack. His reality blurs, and he struggles to separate what is real from what isn't. The visions grow more intense, the anger in the villagers' faces becoming more pronounced. As Aric's grip on his sanity weakens, he is left questioning whether he is being haunted by the past or by his own conscience. The line between reality and nightmare is fading fast, and Aric feels like he's losing control of everything. The tension builds, leaving the audience wondering if these ghosts are a sign of his inevitable doom or a warning that he can still change. In a moment of desperation, Aric is forced to make a choice that could shape the rest of his life. The kingdom he now rules offers him unimaginable power, but with it comes a price. Will he embrace this power fully, succumbing to the darkness inside him? Or will he seek redemption for his past mistakes, hoping for a chance to right the wrongs he has committed? His inner battle rages as he wrestles with his desire for power and the guilt that eats away at him. Can someone so full of hate truly change? Is forgiveness even possible after everything he's done? Aric wonders if he can ever undo the damage he has caused, or if he is too far gone to ever be redeemed. The audience is left questioning. What will Aric choose? Will he seize the power he has been given and let his darkness consume him, or will he take a chance at redemption, risking everything to save what little is left of his humanity? Just as Aric seems to make a decision, the kingdom he has worked so hard to lead turns on him. The people who once looked to him for guidance now doubt him, their loyalty faltering. Could it be that they knew of his dark past all along, or have they uncovered something even darker at play? As Aric struggles to keep his grip on the throne, he realizes that his power is slipping away. His past sins, once buried in the shadows, are now being brought to light. The kingdom he thought he could control is beginning to crumble, and Aric realizes that redemption may never come for him. His choices have set him on a path from which there is no easy return. The shock of this betrayal leaves him reeling, and the audience is left questioning. Has Aric's fate already been sealed, or can he still find a way to turn things around before it's too late? The final battle for the kingdom begins, and Aric finds himself face to face with not only external enemies, but with his own demons. His greatest battle is not with those who oppose him, but with the darkness inside himself. Can Aric truly change, or is he doomed to repeat his past mistakes? As the kingdom falls into chaos, he must make the ultimate choice. Will he embrace the darkness that has always been inside him, or will he rise above it to save the kingdom he nearly destroyed? The audience watches, unsure of which path Aric will take. Will he be able to overcome his past and lead the kingdom to a new future? Or will he let his hatred consume him, ruining everything once more? The tension is unbearable as the final battle approaches, and the fate of the kingdom rests on Aric's shoulders. In the end, Aric is left with a final, heartbreaking choice. Will he sacrifice everything he has gained, including his power, to save the people he wronged? Or will he choose to embrace the darkness within him, knowing that it will destroy everything he has worked for? As Aric stands at the crossroads, the final question hangs in the air, unanswered. Can a man truly change, or is he forever bound by his past? The story ends with this powerful question lingering, leaving the audience to wonder if redemption is possible or if the weight of the past will always haunt the present. Aric's journey is one of self-doubt, struggle, and a constant battle between light and darkness, and in the end, only one question remains. Will he be able to change, or will his past define him forever?